My name's TJ, and welcome to my physics project. So, for my physics project, I chose to calculate fall damage in Fortnite and see if you could survive a deadly fall
in real life. So to begin with, I had to learn what exactly a deadly fall is in Fortnite. I went to multiple areas around the map and fell to my death from various heights, and no matter where I went, the minimum height of death in the game was exactly the same. Watch these two examples. At all tested heights, the death was exactly 6 stairs high. But how high is that exactly? I went around the game looking for stuff to measure the stairs with. I found out that a truck was the same exact height of a staircase. The average size of a truck is 4.11 meters. 4.11 meters times 6 stairs is a combination of 24.66 meters high, or 82 feet. That is 17 Danny DeVitos stacked on top of each other, and half of the Chicago Water Tower. The next piece of data I needed to find was the mass of the character, but because there's no way to measure the mass of the character, the next best thing was finding his height. The closest height to the in-game model is actually a dumpster. The in-game dumpster is actually a 4-yard dumpster, which is exactly 5 feet and 4 inches tall. That means our player model must be 5'4". Both male and female models have the same height, but average masses for these two heights are different, so I found the medium between the two to be 125 pounds. It is important to note that Fortnite does not actually take place on Earth. If anything, it takes place on Venus, and here's why. Gravity is way too low to apply to Earth standards, but it's way too high to apply to any other planets, except for Venus. Venus was a habitable planet at some point, and it has the same planet structure as the one in Fortnite. Purple storms in Venus are actually the same storms as seen in Fortnite, and to seal the deal, a map can be seen of the world's orbit pattern in Fortnite, which is the same as planet Venus. So in order to tell if we could survive this fall in real life, we'd have to find the force of the fall. So finding the force of the fall is actually called the impact force. The impact force is a force that delivers a shock or high impact in a relatively short period of time. It occurs when two entities collide, and for this case, it would be a human being colliding with the ground. Finding the impact force will tell us if the fall is survivable in real life, and it is also important to note that air resistance is ignored because a height of 25 meters is not big enough for it to have an effect. So now we know our mass, our height, and our gravity, but now we need to know what to do with it. So it's important to note the kinetic energy just before impact is equal to its gravitational potential energy, GPE, at the height from which it was dropped. In addition, if we know the distance traveled after the impact, then we should be able to find its impact force. We also know how to find velocity in this scenario. Since the surface of Venus is where the force is impacting, we know the player will barely travel a distance after the impact because of how hard the surface is. Knowing this, it is safe to assume the player will travel at the most 0.1 meters after the impact. Using the two equations given, I used my gravity and height and found the velocity, which was 20.92 meters per second. With that velocity, I was able to find the impact force. So I plugged in our mass, 56.7 kilograms. Then I plugged in our velocity and squared it, and then divided the whole thing by our distance of 0.1 meters. This gives us a force of 124,000 newtons, but could we survive this in real life though? Using the two averages of heights of death in real life, I used the impact force equation and figured out that it would be between 88,000 newtons and 147,000 newtons. 88,000 newtons being the minimum fall, which is 15 meters, and 147,000 newtons, which means 25 meters, which is the max height you can fall off of and survive. But in Fortnite, you always land on your feet, and even though landing on your feet is a lot safer, because if you land on your head or on your side, you're more prone to hitting something vital and getting yourself killed. So could you survive the deadly fall of Fortnite in real life? The short answer is yes, meaning the physics in Fortnite are fake, but it's not too far off from the truth. Surviving a fall like this would mean an extreme toll would be taken on your body, resulting in most of, if not all of your bones being broken.
Nothing hurts anymore, I feel kind of free.